I'm breathing underwater, I'm weightless through space. I'm soaring like an eagle all over this place. Creatures most will never see are waiting there to look at me, and all I gotta do is breathe underwater. Today, some of us are reuniting with childhood friends.
Sir, Sparks reports the cargo plane is right on schedule.
Have them maintain a steady directional beam for the plane.
Aye, sir.
Ethel. Yes, it is. It's Ethel Sharkey.
Doc! Doc Bradley, how are you, old son of a gun?
Well, this is hard to believe. It's been, well, let's forget how many years.
I heard there was a civilian bomb expert aboard, but I never figured that the squinty little four-eyed... You son of a gun, how are you?
That cargo plane they mentioned is delivering a cesium bomb of all things, and Bradley is the expert assigned to oversee whatever we're doing with it. In this story, the cesium bomb is a massive thing capable of blowing up half the world, according to Bradley. By the 80s, someone had actually constructed cesium bombs. They're better known as dirty bombs, designed to spread radiation and kill people in one of the most horrible ways possible. In 1966, they couldn't envision something like that. Blowing up half the planet, they could envision. Welcome to the Cold War.
Ethel Sharkey.
Ethelbert.
Oh, Francis Ethelbert Sharkey.
Yes, sir.
No wonder he goes by Chief. His parents couldn't get people in the habit of calling him Frank. But Kowalski's sonar is going to interrupt that train of thought.
Unidentified craft underwater, 2,000 yards southwest.
Submarine. I thought we had a whole line of picket ships around the area.
We have, Doctor, but there's a big ocean.
Sparks, contact that submarine. Request immediate recognition code. Also, alert the picket ships.
Aye, sir.
Stand by to sound general quarters.
Those picket ships were useful, weren't they? How did this thing slip past them, and what does it want?
We're on a rendezvous course to pick up a top-secret cesium-7 bomb from that plane. An unidentified sub shows up. Coincidence?
I doubt it.
Captain, heavy concussion. Underwater ship-to-air missile.
Battle stations, battle stations.
It's shooting the plane down. Bradley is convinced that will set the cesium bomb off and obliterate all of them, but the bomb drops into the ocean with the rest of the debris from the plane.
Patterson, did you get a fix on the impact point?
Well, as near as I can figure, Captain, the plane must have hit the water about 6 miles north-northwest.
Then that's where they're going. That other sub has disappeared, so while they're rushing to find the bomb, Kowalski will keep his ears on in case it comes back. What? You didn't know sonar operators can take them off?
We've got to locate that bomb. The electrolytic action of the seawater will activate the firing mechanism.
How much time do we have?
Not more than 4 hours.
Better activate the electronic scanning devices.
Start looking for it with the gadgets. What a remarkably practical idea.
That cesium bomb could have been the greatest deterrent to war we've come up with yet.
Well, it still may be if we can carry out the original plan. Get it aboard Seaview, and then take it to our underwater defense complex.
We genuinely thought like this in the 60s. If we all have bombs big enough to blow up the world, mutually assured destruction will keep anybody from using them. In the main, it worked. But nobody could have foreseen the fall of the Soviet Union and all the lunacy that's happened since. It only takes one leader being crazy enough to drop one, and there goes the whole northern hemisphere. This is part of my generation's legacy to you. I can't apologize enough.
The average depth of this water is 800 feet. Can you make the dive and deactivate at that depth?
I can stand it if your diving gear can.
With our anti-compression oxygen. Think it can.
Before anybody asks, I have no idea what anti-compression oxygen is. If he goes out with any kind of pure oxygen, it'll kill him in seconds because too much oxygen is deadly at that pressure. Many divers use a special air mixture that has a higher oxygen content. Common air is 21% oxygen, but we can pump that percentage up as high as 36%. 32% is common. It's called nitrox, and you need special certification to use it. I have the cert, and I not only know how to use it, I know how to make it and test the oxygen content. And I think I've used nitrox twice. It's supposed to make you feel less tired when you get out, but I couldn't tell the difference. That's probably because I always come back from a dive so energized I don't know what to do with myself. The thing about nitrox is you can't go as deep with it as you can with normal air because the high oxygen content becomes toxic. That's another reason I don't care about using it. A lot of older divers use it, so it's come to be called geyser gas. But since it doesn't do anything for me, I guess that means I'm not a geezer yet. I can live with that.
Unidentified object on bottom, dead ahead, Admiral. Could be the bomb.
All stop. There it is.
Admiral, it's already activated.
Positioned directly over the bomb, 700 feet.
Level off at 700 feet and hold directly over the bomb.
I know it's supposed to be a world-busting nuclear bomb, but it looks like a bird cage. We couldn't make it look more intimidating?
Well, I'm ready to go out, Admiral. I need one man to assist.
What about Sharky?
Ethel? Can't think of a better man.
We saw John Lupton briefly in the Time Tunnel and Shazam, but his best-known role was opposite Michael Ansara in the series Broken Arrow. For the most part, he was another of those character actors who make the story happen. Like he's doing here.
Skipper, that sub's in the move again, approaching aft. 505 yards and closing fast.
Sparks, try to contact that sub.
Aye, sir.
Activate aft camera, telescopic lens.
Aye, sir.
Vulcan? What country is that?
We won't find out. There's no record of a sub by that name anywhere, and nobody involved will tell us. But I think we have some idea what they want.
Torpedoes approaching astern.
All ahead full. Hard right rudder.
The Seaview loads torpedoes to fire back.
Torpedoes approaching astern.
Left full rudder.
Or not. The firing controls are fried. To get a torpedo out right now, they'd have to open the door and kick it. Sonar and hydrophones are out as well, and they still have to get back to the bomb before that other sub does. Crane and Kowalski take the flying sub and head out to try and decoy the Vulcan away from it.
Well, Commander, Seaview is apparently motionless in the water. Shall we finish her off now? What for? Obviously, she cannot fire back, or she would have done so by now. No, I'd rather capture than destroy her.
Gerald Moore made such a good bad guy. The last time we saw him, he was the devil. Or at least he let Dr. Smith think he was the devil while he was kidnapping and trying to romance Judy Robinson. Hello, Morbius. He was active in film, stage, and television, but a heart attack in 1968 cut his career short at the age of 54. Today, he's not doing some over-the-top alien. This guy is a little scary. He says, our primary mission is the bomb.
We've succeeded in bringing it down. We've disabled the Seaview. Now all that's left is to find the bomb and bring it on board. Then we shall return for the Seaview.
He doesn't know that the Seaview has already found it. They'll start making their way back to it after this.
Seaview has just launched a miniature sub. Probably a flying submarine. What's her course? 230. Hold the course, 230. You're going to follow her? Of course. Flying sub is ideal for landing alongside the bomb and disarming it. Hold the course and increase speed to flank.
They start following a search grid so the Vulcan thinks they're looking for the bomb. Meanwhile, the Seaview is back above the bomb and our boys are in their dive gear.
Now listen, about this bomb, what are we going to be in for?
Well, it's got 3 deterrent devices on it. Here, hold on to this. We may need it for the second fuse.
Well, that's a pretty rugged contraption we'll be fooling around with, huh?
Highly sophisticated. Almost human in its sensitivity. The word is handle with care.
Well then, let's go handle it. When he said it's almost human in its responses, I think he meant it's weird and temperamental. This bomb is the strangest thing I ever saw.
What's the course and distance on that flying submarine?
080 at 1,000 yards.
And we've been tricked.
Sir?
That's from our agent aboard the Seaview, the homing device he has with him. His orders were to activate it as soon as they've located the bomb.
But the flying submarine.
We've been decoyed. Prepare laser beam for immediate firing.
He has an agent on the Seaview. Gosh, I wonder who it could be.
Bradley calling the Seaview. We're at the bomb now. The firing mechanism's already activated. There's no way of telling how long we have until blast time.
Can you reverse it, Bradley?
I don't know, but we'll start deactivation. We might as well. There's no place any of us can run to now.
Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide.
Everyone is being so practical today. Crane and Kowalski have figured out that their little game is over. Before they know it, a laser beam hits them and knocks everything out, including the two pilots. The flying sub is dead on the bottom. Sharky and Bradley are working on the bomb, but this thing is so complicated you get the feeling they both need 3 hands.
Look out, Doc, she's slipping.
That's not helping. Roll it off him, Sharky.
Get it off me, Sharky. I'll get it, Doc. Get ready to move out.
Don't try to lift it. It's round, remember? Roll it. Neither of them will think of rolling it. The Seaview sends its cable hoist down. They clip onto that top ring and bring it aboard. All the while, the bomb keeps hinting that it's going to explode, but it doesn't. As I said, weird and temperamental. Almost human.
Badly hurt?
No, I think I'm all right.
What about you, Jim?
Nothing wrong with me that shutting down that bomb won't cure. Come on.
Get the ship's doctor on the double.
Never mind. There's no time. We still have the bomb to worry about.
I thought you defused it.
Only one control. There's still 2 more. The electrolytic action of the seawater is still affecting it. If it continues, we've only got minutes to deactivate it.
I can understand having a 3-stage process for arming it. That's basic safety. But I would hope someone also had the brains to make it easy to shut down. Obviously, I hope in vain. Patterson reports that the flying sub was last seen heading for the bottom, and the Vulcan is at a dead stop directly over where that happened.
What's that, Skipper?
Sounds like the diving bell.
The Seaview must have found us and sent the bell down.
Let's not keep waiting. Come on.
That's not the diving bell. He invites them to meet the commander, Mr. Vadim.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Being shot down and taken prisoner at the point of a gun is not my idea of a welcome. What country are you serving?
That is of no consequence. What does concern us is the cesium bomb. I would like your assistance in convincing Admiral Nelson that any resistance is useless.
Funny, he doesn't look like a Borg, and he can't be serious. He says the Seaview is helpless and we're positioned to destroy it.
But you won't.
What makes you think that?
They must have the cesium-7 aboard by now. If you destroy the Seaview, the bomb goes with it. That means that you and the Vulcan will go too.
I wouldn't hesitate a moment if it meant keeping the bomb out of your country's possession.
That's your choice. Mine is to keep quiet.
How about you, sailor? Are you willing to give your life for so unimportant a request?
You heard the skipper. I'm with him.
He expected what? Off to the brig with him.
Let's have the diffusing tool.
Sure.
Now, we have to take it easy on these 2. One slip. and jar, and off she goes.
Admiral, this is Morton. Would you come to the control room, please?
Morton is insistent that he has to have the Admiral right now.
What's the trouble, Shep?
Two things. Vulcan's coming toward us at flank speed. I've thrown out anti-sonar and anti-hydrophone barriers, but she's coming straight at us as though she had eyes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's the other thing?
Sparks has picked up a high-frequency beam, similar to a homing device. I think the Vulcan's coming in on it.
And a beam from Seaview?
Yes, sir.
Well, what's the location?
All he knows is it's somewhere aft. It activated about the time we brought the bomb aboard.
So we can't shake them, there's no time to work out a jammer, and even less time to find the homing device. Nelson says, call the Vulcan and tell them I want to speak to their commander. Let's find out what they want. As if we don't know.
This is Mr. Vadim of the Vulcan. Good to talk to you at long last, Admiral.
You're approaching us at flank speed. What are your intentions, Mr. Vadim?
Simplicity itself. I intend to take the cesium bomb.
There'll be no bomb, nor Seaview, nor Vulcan. If you don't let us get on and deactivate it.
It doesn't matter what he says, Vadim doesn't believe him about the bomb. He says if it was going to go off, it would have by now. He knows they've been working on it, but it doesn't enter his head that maybe the work they've been doing has slowed it down. We're supposed to trust him with the most powerful nuke in the world. I wouldn't trust him with this.
15 minutes, you say?
That's right.
Very well. You shall have your time. I will recontact you then.
Shall I reduce speed, sir?
Certainly not. Continue on course. When we reach 500 yards, open fire with a laser beam.
He lied about the 15 minutes. I'm sure nobody saw that coming. What kind of laser is that?
The hidden bat laser beam.
That explains it.
Doc, it's gonna blow.
Where's the diffusing tool?
There it is.
Hurry up!
Doc, there's some wiring in this thing.
It's a neutralizer. It grounds the tool to keep it from setting off the bomb by electronic impulse.
Sharky believes his old friend. We know what it really is.
What is our condition?
Power's out in all engines. Reactor controls damaged. Hull and circuitry A-OK.
Well, our friends aboard the Vulcan are apparently proceeding according to plan. Stand by to repel boarders.
Now hear this. All hands to battle stations. Prepare to repel boarders.
Communications are working, but there's still no word from Captain Crane.
How about that homing signal? Do you have any idea where it's coming from?
You can listen for yourself, sir. I'm not quite sure, but if I had to make a guess, I'd say it was coming from the missile room.
Let's see, who's in the missile room that's not a regular? He heads down and tells Sharky to have the men start searching.
All stop. Neutral buoyancy.
Neutral buoyancy, sir.
You know, Mr. Zane, I have a feeling our assignment is coming to an end.
For as big as his part is, Mr. Zane isn't credited. We saw George Kemas in season 1, as well as in Honey West and a couple of other shows. He was another of those steady character actors who make the stars look good. He deserved at least a little recognition here. In the brig, Crane and Kowalski aren't happy with their accommodations, so they're ready to leave. Everything is solid steel, so the only way out is to get someone to open the door.
Give me a hand with this, all right? See what we can do with that.
Now what do we do?
Extend our invitation.
What do I always say? Start breaking stuff. It only took him 3 seasons to get that message, and that's way more effective than pretending one of you is sick. A guard comes in, they knock him out and take his gun, and they're off. Take another guy down, and they find themselves in the armory.
Should be something in here we could use, Skipper.
All right, now look for dynamite, explosives, TNT, anything you can find that we can disable this sub.
Right. There's nothing here, Skipper. Except some grenades.
Last I heard, grenades explode. They're about to be reminded of that.
What do you want in the armory?
I'm looking for some special gear for the boarding party.
Well, hurry. You're assigned to my detail, and we're getting ready to shove off.
Be right with you.
Our boys are gaining the upper hand, and one of those guys knows it. Remember one of Irving's principles? Bad guy always goes for a weapon first.
Bender, break for the door! I've got a grenade!
If that idiot sets it off in this room, at least it'll put a stop to Vadim's plans, because all the secondary explosions will blow the sub in half. Still, it won't be too healthy for the captain and Kowalski, so they'll keep that from happening.
He's pulled a pin.
I'll find it. It's around here somewhere.
Skipper, if you release your hand, that thing will go off.
I think he knows that, Kowalski. Go find the pin.
I'll replace it. Easy, easy.
Captain, we don't know how this grenade works. Even if I replace this pin, this thing may still go off.
It's still a chance we have to take. Now put it in there.
With the possible exception of the potato masher type grenade the Germans used in World War II, hand grenades are pretty much all the same the world over. Don't worry, it's harmless unless you bonk someone over the head with it. This is the pin. This is the spoon or handle. This is the kaboom. In a live one, there would be a little button there. As long as the handle is holding it down, nothing happens. When you pull the pin and release the handle, that button pops up and starts a timer, and that ultimately leads to the part we don't want to be around for. This guy's grenade has the pin, the spoon, and the kaboom. It's safe to assume it works just like the one I'm holding.
All right. Now I'm going to throw this grenade in the corridor. If it explodes, there's still a chance we can get away from here. Now hit the deck.
Unless some unconscious guy is pushing it up your nose. Then you take every precaution you can think of, plus a few you make up on the spot. They grab some gas grenades and masks and keep moving. So far, Sharky's search for the homing beacon hasn't turned up anything.
One more to go.
It's underneath this metal plate.
Call off your search, Chief. He found the transmitter.
Well, where'd you find that dumb thing, sir? That? Doc said it was a neutralizing gimmick for the bomb. Hey, Doc, you couldn't be... You working... Oh, you...
If asked, every man in the room would swear he didn't see a thing. It may be small comfort Mr. Vadim is calling.
Admiral Nelson, we are preparing to board the Seaview. Stand by for boarding party.
Give me a mic, will you, Chief?
Aye, sir.
Hold it on. I've told you before, this bomb is activated. Only got 6 minutes left before it explodes.
I still don't believe you.
If it's a bluff, he has no reason to keep it up now, but Vadim thinks everybody is as big a liar as he is.
Then you're welcome to join your man Bradley and the rest of us in eternity when it goes.
We're still going to proceed. Any show of resistance on your part and we shall kill our 2 prisoners, Captain Crane and Seaman Kowalski.
On top of that tidbit, there's a little good news for a change.
Damage control reports the torpedo firing circuitry is partially repaired. We can launch manually now.
I'd gotta get a fix on the Vulcan and prepare for immediate firing. I said get a fix on the Vulcan and prepare for immediate firing. I know Lee and Kowalski are aboard. We have no other choice. I'll prepare for firing.
Aye, sir.
Well, good news may have been a little strong. Let's modify that to whatever it may cost us, there is something we can do. And speaking of Lee and Kowalski, they're working on not being there even as we speak.
Shall we proceed, sir? Of course. Have the boarding party stand by in scuba gear with underwater explosives. We'll blow the hatch and move in.
Definitely deserve to be in the credits. Shame on you, Irwin.
Aye, all right.
Yes, just the shoulder.
Let's find some scuba gear and get out of here.
With Vadim and the rest of the command center unconscious, the boarding party is going to be waiting for that order for a long time.
Fire 1. Fire 2.
Never mind. Mr. Morton warned the Admiral that the concussion would knock them around, but it had to be done.
Secure the bomb!
Bye-bye, Doc. That's what happens when you give it a second chance to squish you. Nelson finishes disarming it and says, let's start looking for Crane and Kowalski in case they got out.
Mission accomplished, Admiral. Request permission to return aboard. Over.
That was easier than expected. Doc was the last one who could have told us what country the Vulcan belonged to. The accents were generic somewhere over there. Once the bomb was disarmed, they dismantled it to its tiniest component parts and then scattered said component parts from one end of the ocean to the other. A week later, Aquaman dropped the pieces on Admiral Nelson's doorstep and told him to take care of his own garbage. When Nelson protested, Namor stepped up and offered to twist his will. And his arm. Nelson suddenly became very agreeable. All I gotta do is breathe underwater. Breathe underwater. Breathe underwater. Good friends. Fooled you, I got the line in. Gerald Moore's made masks and ski just like the one I'm holding. So don't put it down, idiot.